Good afternoon, Diesel World Reaction. This your boy Juan Diesel, and I'm back with another video. This one's called Lana Turner died a painful death shortly after revealing her secret to her only adopted child. Let's get into it, folks.
Lana Turner was born Julia Jean Turner on February 8, 1921, at Providence Hospital in Wallace, Idaho, a small mining community in the Idaho Panhandle region. She was the only child of John Virgil Turner, a miner from Montgomery, Alabama of Dutch descent, and Mildred Frances Cowan from Lamar, Arkansas, who had English, Scottish, and Irish ancestry. Mildred was 4 days shy of her own 17th birthday when she gave birth to her only child. Lana's parents had first met while 14-year-old Mildred, the daughter of a mine inspector, was visiting Pitcher, Oklahoma, with her father, who was inspecting local mines there. John was 24 years old at the time, and Mildred's father objected to the courtship. Shortly after, the two eloped and moved west, settling in Idaho. In 1940, Turner appeared in her first musical film, Two Girls on Broadway, in which she received top billing over established co-stars Joan Blondell and George Murphy. A remake of the Broadway melody, the film was marketed as featuring Turner's hottest, most daring role. The following year, she had a lead role in her second musical, Ziegfeld Girl, opposite James Stewart, Judy Garland and Hedy Lamarr. In the film, she portrayed Sheila Regan, an alcoholic aspiring actress based on Lillian Lorraine. Ziegfeld Girl marked a personal and professional shift for Turner. She claimed it as the first role that got her interested in acting, and the studio, impressed by her performance, marketed the film as featuring her in the best role of the biggest picture to be released by the industry's biggest company. The film's high box office returns elevated Turner's profitability, and MGM gave her a weekly salary raise to $1,500 as well as a personal makeup artist and trailer. After completing the film, Turner and co-star Garland remained lifelong friends, and lived in houses next to one another in the 1950s. In late 1947, Turner was cast as Lady de Winter in The Three Musketeers, her first Technicolor film. Around this time, she began dating Henry J. Bob Topping Jr., a millionaire socialite and brother of New York Yankees owner Dan Topping, and a grandson of tin plate magnate Daniel G. Reed. Topping proposed to her at the 21 Club in New York City by dropping a diamond ring into her martini, and they married shortly after in April 1948 at the Topping family mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut. Turner's wedding celebrations interfered with her filming schedule for The Three Musketeers, and she arrived to the set 3 days late. Studio head Louis B. Mayer threatened to suspend her contract, but Turner managed to leverage her box office draw with MGM to negotiate an expansion of her role in the film, as well as a salary increase amounting to $5,000 per week, $60,678 in 2021 dollars. The Three Musketeers went on to become a box office success, earning $4.5 million, $54,610,283 in 2021 dollars. But Turner's contract was put on temporary suspension by Mayer after production finished. After the release of The Three Musketeers, Turner discovered she was pregnant. In early 1949, she went into premature labor and gave birth to a stillborn baby boy in New York City. In the spring of 1953, Turner relocated to Europe for 18 months to make two films under a tax credit for American productions shot abroad. The films were Flame and the Flesh, in which she portrayed a manipulative woman who takes advantage of a musician, and Betrayed, an espionage thriller set in the Nazi-occupied Netherlands. The latter marked Turner's fourth and final film appearance opposite Clark Gable. In the New York Times, Bosley Crowther wrote of Betrayed, "By the time this picture gets around to figuring out whether the betrayer is Miss Turner or Mr. Mature, It has taken the audience through such a lengthy and tedious amount of detail that it has not only frayed all possible tension but it has aggravated patience as well. Upon returning to the United States in September 1953, Turner married actor Lex Barker, whom she had been dating since their first meeting at a party held by Marion Davies in the summer of 1952. Turner was a regular drinker and cigarette smoker for most of her life. During her contract with MGM, photographs that showed her holding cigarettes had to be airbrushed at the studio's request in an effort to conceal her smoking. In her early 60s, Turner stopped drinking to preserve her health, but she was unable to quit smoking. She was diagnosed with throat cancer in the spring of 1992. In a press release, she stated that the cancer had been detected early and had not damaged her vocal cords or larynx. She underwent exploratory surgery to remove the cancer, but it had metastasized to her jaw and lungs. After undergoing radiation therapy, Turner announced that she was in full remission in early 1993. The cancer was found to have returned in July 1994. In September 1994, Turner made her final public appearance at the San Sebastian International Film Festival in Spain to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award, and was confined to a wheelchair for much of the event. She died 9 months later at the age of 74 on June 29, 1995, of complications from the cancer, at her home in Century City, Los Angeles, with her daughter by her side. According to Cheryl, Turner's death was a total shock, as she had appeared to be in better health and had recently completed 7 weeks of radiation therapy. Turner's remains were cremated and given to Cheryl. Multiple accounts have the ashes still in Cheryl's possession, while other accounts say the ashes were scattered in the ocean, but which ocean and location varies by the sources. Cheryl and her life partner Joyce Leroy, whom Turner said she accepted as a second daughter, inherited some of Turner's personal effects and $50,000 in Turner's will. Her estate was estimated in court documents to be worth $1.7 million. Turner left the majority of her estate to her maid, Carmen Lopez Cruz, who had been her companion for 45 years and caregiver during her final illness. Cheryl challenged the will, and Cruz said that the majority of the estate was consumed by probate costs, legal fees and medical expenses.